Connecting to the words of the Gemara can be difficult. This series, Bringing Gemara to Life, will allow us to experience the Gemara from a new perspective, using real people and live performances. Hope you enjoy!
Weddings. You know, the Gemara we did last time on Bring Gemara to Life, but Shabbos Aveda, that occupies just one perek of Bab Metzia. But there's an entire Mesechet called Kiddushin, which is all about weddings, how to get married, who one may marry. All the details, the very, very interesting, fascinating details about weddings are found in Kiddushin. And tonight we're going to bring some of those details to life on Bringing Gemara to Life. In order to introduce tonight's sugya, let me just share with you two basic principles about Kiddushin, about marriage, that is necessary to understand what's happening in the Mishnah and the Gemara. So, rule number one, how does a man marry a woman? The Mishnah says, Ha'isha niknes b'shalosh drachim. The woman is acquired through marriage in three ways. B'kesef, b'shtar, u'b'biyah. There are three different ways. However, we only do one nowadays. We strictly use Kiddushay Kesef. The man marries the woman through giving her an object of value, whether it's money, could be an object of jewelry, a ring usually, but really anything worth something makes the woman married to the man. The ketubah is not Kiddushay Shtar. It is not a means of Kiddushin. It is something separate entirely. It's a rabbinic requirement. But the actual marriage happens when the man gives the ring to the woman, which we'll demonstrate right now.
Rabbi, this is a Sheva Pruta. It's a ring. Everybody agrees. Harei at mikudeshet li b'taba'atzu kedat Moshe v'Yisrael. Mikudeshes.
So yes, we use a ring typically, but anything worth a pruta, a small amount, can be used for Kiddushin, for example.
Harei at mikudeshet li b'tankatrak zu kedat Moshe v'Yisrael. Mikudeshes.
And now they are married. That's principle number one. Principle number two is called shlichus, agency. That means that Kiddushin can take place without both the man and the woman being in the same room at the same time. The man can appoint a shliach, an agent, to give Kiddushin, and the woman can appoint an agent to receive Kiddushin. Let's illustrate this with the man appointing a shliach.
Rubber ducky, you're so fine, and I'm happy that you're mine. But I'm giving it to you, sir, and I ask you to be my shaliach to marry that woman.
Will do.
Will you marry that guy?
Ooh, yes, I will.
Great.
And that works. It works. The woman is married to the first man, the mishaleach, and not the shaliach, the agent. Is this not what Eliezer did to marry Rivka to his master's son Yitzchak? When Eliezer gave the jewelry to Rivka, he wasn't marrying her. He was marrying Rivka to Yitzchak Avinu. That's called Kiddushay Kesef through Shlichus. So we have just, through these concepts, introduced two concepts. Kesef Kiddushin, that the man must give the woman an object of value in order for the Kiddushin to take effect, and Shlichus, that there are times where they don't have to do it directly. She can receive through an agent and he can give through an agent. Our Gemara is now going to explore the intersection between these two concepts.
Now with that introduction, we're ready to jump into the Mishnah. The Mishnah is on Kiddushin Nun Ches Amud Beis 58b, and the Mishnah gives us three very interesting cases. So we'll go case by case, and we'll try to understand them and demonstrate them as well. So the very first case that the Mishnah says is Ha'omer La'chaveiro. Someone says to their fellow, Zeh v'kadesh li isha polonis. I want you to go and marry for me, be my shliach, be my agent to go marry this woman. And what does he do? V'halach v'kid shala'atzmo. He goes and he doesn't act as his agent, but rather he's makadesh her, he betroths her to himself. Says the Mishnah, in such a case, mikudeshes lasheni. He is betrothed, he's married to the second man.
Hello, sir.
Sir.
You know that swing line is the greatest of all staplers.
Of course it is.
Would you please take this and be my agent, my shaliach, to marry that woman?
Of course. Will you marry me with this stapler?
Yes, I will.
Great.
The halacha is that she is married to person number 2. Because the agency didn't work, he didn't act on behalf of the person who sent him. Rather, he went and he acted on his own behalf. The second case in the Mishnah is ha'omer le'isha. A man says to a woman, Harayat mikudeshes li la'achar shloshim yom. You're going to be married to me after 30 days, in a month from now. Uva acher, and then someone else comes, v'kidsha b'sok shloshim yom, and is mekadesh her, betroths her within those 30 days.
Happy Purim. In 30 days, when this becomes something you can eat, will you be mikudeshes me?
Yes, I will. I can't wait to eat it.
Will you marry me now with this?
Yes, I will.
Fantastico!
And the halacha is that she's married to person number 2. Because the first person's kesef Kiddushin, the money that he gave to marry her, didn't go into effect yet, not until 30 days later. But person number 2, their kesef Kiddushin, the money they used to marry her, was effective right away. And the last case, the oddest case in the Mishnah, is if a person says, you are going to be mikudesh. The last case, the oddest case in the Mishnah, is if a person says, you're going to be mikudeshes to me, me'achshav ula'achar shloshim yom. From now, and also after 30 days. And then in that time, ula'acher, v'kidsha b'sok shloshim yom, someone else comes and is mekadesh her, betroths her within those 30 days.
The centipede, the fiercest of all the jungle. Will you be mikudeshes me for now and after 30 days?
I will.
Cheerio! Will you marry me with this box of Cheerios?
Yes, I will.
Wow, you like those, huh?
Lots of rings.
Great.
And the halacha is, she's mikudeshes, ve'ena mikudeshes. She's both married and not married. She's both married and not married to the first person, and both married and not married to the second person. Because it's unclear whether the first person's kesef Kiddushin worked also now, or whether it worked after 30 days. And it's unclear whether she was married when the second person came to be mekadesh her, came to betroth her. So practically speaking, she would need a get from both people in order to clear up the situation and to move on.
Okay, now we're going to enter the Gemara after doing those 3 cases in the Mishnah. The job of the Gemara is to explain the Mishnah further and clarify what's happening. After all, the Mishnah just gives cases, but doesn't actually tell us rules. The job of the Amoram and the Gemara is to use those cases and other similar cases to extrapolate rules about Kiddushin from them. So our springboard for the Gemara is going to be the second of the 3 cases of the Mishnah. So just to refresh your memories, we're going to reenact the second case of the Mishnah and then give variations of it to extract principles from it. So here was that second case of the Mishnah. Ha'omer le'isha. The man says to a woman, Harei mikudeshes li la'achar shloshim yom. You are betrothed to me after 30 days. Uba acher b'kidsha. Someone else comes and is mekadesh her b'sok shloshim yom within 30 days. Let's see what happens.
Again, Happy Purim. Harayat mikudeshet li be'Yehuda matzahs zo. Will you marry me in 30 days when you're able to eat this matzah?
Yes, even though I prefer strings.
Will you marry me with this cake?
Yes, I will.
So in that situation, the woman is married to man number 2. Man number 1's kesef Kiddushin did not go into effect yet because he said it was after 30 days. But man number 2 came before 30 days. She's married to man number 2. That was the case in the Mishnah that you will remember. The Gemara now presents a variation on that case. Listen carefully to this variation. Lo ba'acher v'kidsha b'sok shloshim mahu. If there's no one else who comes within 30 days, however, the Kesef Kiddushin, which he had accepted, is gone before day 30 is reached. Then what is the halacha? Let's see that scenario.
The white and black cookie, perfect for marriage. Please see Seinfeld for more, but will you take this and be married to me after 30 days? Feel free to eat it, but, refrigerate it or whatnot. And oh, by the way, eat it with babka. There's another babka.
So what if the woman eats or destroys or loses the Kesef Kiddushin before day 30 is over, or is reached? Is she married in day 30? She received it on day 1 to be in effect after day 30, but by the time day 30 comes around, there's no more Kesef Kiddushin. The Gemara says, Rav Shmuel, the Amri Tervayu, both Rav and Shmuel, the great Amoraim, say, Mikudeshes, she is 100% married. V'afal pishin is aklu hamaos, even though the money has been consumed, even though the Kesef Kiddushin is gone. Why should that be? Clearly, it tells us that when did the betrothal take place? Not on day 30, but on day 1. That is why she's married in day 30, even if the Kesef Kiddushin is no longer in existence. To get very brisker, the Pa'ula, the action, was on day 1, and the Chalos, the effect, was on day 30. But once that Kiddushin was given on day 1, it was given, and it need not be in existence after 30 days. The woman's acceptance on day 1 is all that is needed to happen. Very, very important principle that the Gemara is deriving. But the Gemara presses further with yet another case to really get to the heart of the matter of when the Kiddushin takes effect. Listen carefully to this scenario. Lo ba'acher v'kitsha v'chazra ba mahu. If a man gives the woman Kiddushin to take effect after 30 days, and before those 30 days are over, she has a change of heart, and she wants to return it to him, does she have that right?
Hey, how you doing? What?
Good things.
Oh, it's great to see you. Haraya Mikudeshet in 30 days with this fantastic soccer.
Yes, I will. What was I thinking? I don't want to do this.
Ah! No backsies?
Yes.
No backsies?
No, I don't want to marry you.
Ew! You have goonies!
What a fascinating scenario. If the marriage didn't take effect yet, but the transaction already took place, what is its status? Can it be undone?
Choseres, I say she can be Choseres, I say she can give it back. She can undo what she did.
Not so fast. Eino Choseres. She has no right to retract. She's stuck with him.
No, I think it's not a problem. Because I think that Asi Dibor and Mavatal Dibor, that even though she made a statement, she can make another statement and nullify her statement. Even though she said, I accept the Kiddushin, she can make another statement and say, no, I don't accept it, I give it back.
I'm sorry, it's too late. Lo Asi Dibor, Mavatel Dibor. One statement cannot nullify a previous statement. She's absolutely stuck with him. She can't take it back.
Yes, she can.
No, she can't.
Yes, she can.
No, she can't.
Gentlemen, relax. Instead of arguing about this, can you think of another time in Shas where Dibor Mevatel Dibor is brought as a case? In order to clarify, you need to cite some other cases.
Oh, fine.
I have a case. I'm going to show you that Asi Dibor, Mavatal Dibor, that you can make one statement and then you can nullify it with another statement. You can overrule the statement that you made. And I'm going to use a case of Truma and Meiser. Listen to this case. Man number 1 appoints man number 2 to be a shliach to separate Truma and Meiser from his produce.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. Can you be my shliach and separate trumas and meisers from my produce?
Yeah, I think I can figure that out, fitting in my schedule.
Excellent.
And then what happens is man number 2 decides to leave. But after he leaves, man number 1 decides he doesn't want him to be a shliach anymore.
What was I thinking? I don't trust that guy. He can't be my shliach. I take back him being my shliach.
he revokes the shlichus, the agency, and then he leaves. And after he's gone, man number 2 comes to separate the trumos and the meiser. But the Brisa says that it's batal. Im ad shelo taram bital. If the man number 1 took back to the shlichus, he revoked the agency before man number 2 actually separated the truma and the meiser, that is batal, it's nullified. And what do we see from here? That asi dibor and mevatel dibor. We can make one statement and make another statement to retract it, to go against what we said, and to totally nullify it.
Not so fast, my friend. These cases are like apples and oranges. You cannot compare the case of Truma and Maser to the case of Kesef Kiddushin. The case of Kesef Kiddushin was really a case that involved a Maser. The woman receiving the object from the man is an action. And there, you cannot say that words can override that action. I agree, by Truma and Meiser, it's a word versus a word. It's Dibor and Dibor. But the case of Kiddushin is not a case of Dibor and Dibor. It's a case of a Dibor trying to override an action. You can't do that.
Well, not so fast. I have a case for you, and it's a parallel case. Let me tell you about it.
Oh, we'll see.
Let's consider the following case. A case of Gittin, parallel to our case here of Kiddushin. The Mishnah tells us, Hashalech get li'ishto, that someone sends a get to their wife, v'higia b'shaliach, and it gets to the wife using the shliach, using the agent, o sheshalach achrav shliach, or that agent uses another agent to bring it to the wife, v'amar lo, and he says to him, get shnesati lecha batalhu. The get that I gave you is nullified. It's no longer good. It's no longer a get.
Hey, can you please be my shaliach to deliver this get?
Of course, I will do.
I nullify. No, you're not my shliach.
And what do we see from here? That asi dibor, mevatel dibor. That you can say something and then say something else, nullify it, overturn what you just said. Thank you so much.
I am not convinced at all. These are not parallel cases. The delivery of the get from man 1 to man 2 means nothing halakhically. It's just dibor and dibor. And you were able to appoint a shliach, and you can renege it. Dibor is mevatel dibor. The case of Kiddushin is different. The case where the woman accepts the Kiddushin, la'achar shloshim yom, she accepted it already. There was an action. And I maintain, despite all these wonderful proofs, that the dibor cannot be mevatel that maseh.
Back and forth, the Amoraim argue like an old married couple. But just to sum up everything we've learned 4 principles tonight. Principle number 1 being Kesef Kiddushin, that you can use an object worth a pruta, to be makadesh, to betroth a woman. Number 2 is the principle of shlichus, that you can designate an agent to go and act on your behalf. That their actions work, but not for themselves, they work for you. Number 3 is the principle of delayed fulfillment of a transaction. What happens if you say you're going to be mikudeshes to me after 30 days? Does it work if somebody else comes and tries to be mikudeshes during those 30 days? Or what happens if you say me'achshav ula'achar shloshim yom, from now and also after 30 days? Is that different? Would it be different if someone tries to come and be mikudeshes within those 30 days in that case? And finally, what happens if somebody retracts their shlichus? They decide that they no longer want the agent to go and work on their behalf. Does asi dibor or mevatel dibor work, or does it not work? Are you able to overrule something that you said by saying something else or not? Thank you to our actors for tonight. Thank you for everyone joining us tonight. And thank you for helping us bring Gemara to life.